Welcome everyone to Throwback Gaming's Let's Play of Our Heart in the Woods demo, Part 4. Last time we had a time skip to where we are now, where we are going off to talk to the ghost girl, which we have befriended, while Tara's off doing things with Morgan. So let's jump in, shall we? With almost every step I take, I cast a glance behind me. I keep expecting to hear the crunch of snow or spot a flash of red hair as Tara follows me, but there's nothing. I'm alone. I hurry through the woods practically on autopilot. Less than a week ago, I have never set foot in the forest on my own, but now I already have a path to the clearing memorized. It gives me extra time to worry. What am I even doing? Everything about the situation is extremely not me. Heading off my own into a dark forest without telling anyone to meet up with a ghost. Even thinking the word ghost still makes my heart lurch. I've seen her with my own eyes, and yet I have trouble believing it. And I'm just trusting she's not going to lead me to her lair and suck out my soul or something like that. We're so melodramatic. I feel like Gretel, and I'm not even cautious enough to leave a breadcrumb trail. But still, I keep walking. There's something exciting in being on my own. I'm doing something without Tara. I can't remember the last time I had a secret from her, at least not a big one. Not telling her about the ghost girl feels a little bit like rebellion. I feel like I deserve something exciting that's all my own. She and Morgan can go do whatever. I doubt Tara will even notice I'm not around. And even if she does, it's something that she needs to get used to. I've tried to show her how to cut a video, how to frame a shot lots of times. It's her own fault if she still doesn't get it. We're just pouting right now. Just like it's her own fault that she's missing out now. How's she missing out if you don't tell her? You're just blowing off steam. As I approach the clearing, I slow down a little. My usual trepidation overtakes me once again, and I contemplate how reckless this is. There's absolutely no guarantees this girl isn't dangerous, that I'll walk out of these woods alive. She's also convinced that everyone's trying to murder her. Normally, I'd chastise Tara for following her gut instinct, which dictates about 70% of her decisions. Yet, that's all I have to go off of right now, the feeling that I'm safe with the ghost girl, that she won't harm me. I cross the threshold of trees and into the clearing. Just like the other times, it's serenely quiet. Even my past footsteps are gone, erased by the wind or snowfall. I'm here. Somehow I feel she already knows. The forest swallows my words, returning to its frozen, pristine silence. Isn't she pretty? I love her eyes. Soundlessly, she steps out from behind a tree. A small smile sits on her face, though her eyes are slightly downcast. She waves, meeting my eyes for just a moment before glancing away. Hey there. My words hang in the still air. Were you waiting for me? We locked eyes again and she nods, quickly, earnestly. I hope it wasn't too long. She shakes her head and then laughs. I'm not sure what the joke is, though. What? What's so funny? She catches her breath. She bites her lips as she ponders. After a moment, she shrugs, looking apologetic. I guess explaining a joke through gestures would be difficult. Huh, she can't talk. Interesting. She saddles up next to me, and I fight the urge to step back. Though I've decided to trust her, my instincts still belly my nerves. But what she seems to be most interested in is the bag slung over my shoulder. She stimulates opening the bag so you can see into it. Nosy, huh? Immediately she steps back, waving her hands in a frantic, apologetic motion. That's adorable. She's like Ariel, where she can't talk, you know. Sorry, I was just kidding. You can look. She regards me like a timid deer as I hold the bag open for her to see. Inside are a couple of books I picked up in the village this morning. I hold up the first one, small and square and baby blue. I got a really strange look from the person who runs the bookstore because of this one. It's a book of baby names. Her eyes go wide and she grabs her belly and then points to me. It takes me a second to understand what she meant, and for some reason I feel my face flush. Oh, that is funny. They think she's pregnant. She's like, no. No, I'm not pregnant, but I thought maybe you could use it to show me your name. If it's a name, that would be... Before I can finish my sentence, she zooms back over me, all sense of personal space once again discarded. She's like right up on her. She clasps her hand, a fiery look in her eyes, and hops up and down. Frankly, it's adorable. It is. Okay, you're a fan. Okay, cool. She eyes the book hungrily. She must be really excited to share her name with me. It's a little exciting for me too. It's nice to see someone so excited about being with me. I fight to keep an overzealous grin off my face. Okay, let's see. I look around. Aside from the trees and snow, there isn't much to see. I wonder if there's something about this place in particular that the girl likes. I don't know. Maybe it's her happy place. Maybe it's where... I don't know. Something happened here. This is important to her for some reason. Is there somewhere nearby we could sit down? It feels a little weird to just keep standing. Finger on her chin, she ponders. Then she turns and points towards the woods, even further in. I can tell from the look on her eyes she's uncertain. I swallow a lump in my throat. I've come this far after all. Sure, that's fine. Lead the way. She does so, but never gets too far from my side. Every few steps she glances over at me as if to make sure I'm still here. That feels a little backwards to me, but in a nice way. I don't really feel compelled to break the silence either. Of course, part of that is because any conversation would be one-sided. But also, she looks content, like she's just happy to be here. I am too. Aw, that's cute. The silence doesn't feel very fast and overwhelming, like it does with Tara. It feels warm. For too long, I realized what our destination is. This is nearly the same path that Morgan took us down a couple of dusk ago. I recognize some of the more grossly warped trees. We're going to that church. Eyes wide, she nods, probably surprised that I know of it. One of the villagers showed it to us a few days ago, me and my friend. Feels weird to just call Tara my friend. Usually, if I'm talking to someone about Tara, they met her. The girl just nods yet again. As we reach the edge of the trees and the church itself comes into sight, I look around for traces of the monster that we saw days before. The monster? There are none to be seen, though. No snapped or toppled trees. Wonder what that's about. No footsteps as deep as I am tall. Much like the girl beside me, there's no traces of its existence. I look over to the door of the church, where she's patiently waiting for me. Once again, I fight back all my fears and hesitations and head for the door too. It's too late for us to turn back now. Ooh, isn't that pretty? I mean, it looks abandoned, but I like the glass. There's some bookshelves over here. Interesting. The door is still slightly ajar from our visit days ago. A thin trail of snow powders the entryway, but otherwise the church is dry. It's still unnaturally warm. I wonder if it has to do with the girl too. From the way she walks, I can tell she's familiar with the place. She heads to the front, stopping just shy of the altar, where she turns to face me. Being back here is a little unnerving, and I slowly approach her. Though she hasn't given me any reason to be suspicious, the images of those monstrous eyes is ingrained into my memory. But this time, there's no howling wind or earth-shaking steps, just one girl waiting patiently. Aw, isn't that cute? I give her a smile as I sit down on one of the pews near the front. It's hewn from stone, smooth and rigid. She takes a seat next to me. Normally, being this close to strangers makes me uncomfortable, but with her, I don't really mind. Part of it is, of course, the fact that I can't feel her at all. The other part is that it feels kind of pleasant to sit together like this. I hastily push that thought out of my head. She's a ghost. She is literally transparent and I rummaged through my bag and grabbed the book of baby names. Okay, so first. She bounces up and down with anticipation as I tear off the plastic cling wrap and stuff it in my tote bag. It's the first letter early in the alphabet. She nods and holds up one finger. I, L. Two shakes of her head, she touches her index finger together and then uses her middle finger to cross between them. O and A. Enthusiastically nodding. I flip to the first couple pages in the middle, right in the middle of the A's. The first name I spotted was Amber. Patiently, she leans over and motions to go further back, towards the start. I turn the pages slowly, giving her time to scan. On the very first page, she holds out a hand to stop and point. She's practically handing over my shoulder to show me. Abigail. Your name is Abigail. She gives me the biggest, most radiant grin I've ever seen as she nods. Her joy is infectious, and I can't help but smile too. Abigail. I repeat it, and she looks even more joyful. A beam of light breaks through the glass window, illuminating dust motes that make it look as she's sparkling. We lock eyes, and I catch my breath in my throat. The look in her eyes, pure, unadulterated happiness, is something I've never seen before. They shine with tears. They're the good kind. The kind that bring out the color of her eyes, the radiant kind. I didn't know I could make someone happy like this. I quickly looked away, back now to the irrelevant book in my lap. Anyway, Abigail, I had a couple of questions if that's okay. Abigail nods. So maybe this is rude to ask, but are you a ghost or are you something else? Excuse me. Abigail closes her eyes and with a sad smile she nods. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what the appropriate response to something like this is. Then are you from Eisenfield? Yeah, she's from Eisenfield. Do you know a girl from there called Morgan? She shakes her head. That makes sense. I'm sure Morgan would have mentioned her before if so. So have you been like a ghost for a long time then? I cringe a little as I ask. It seems bad, even though I'm not entirely sure what proper etiquette for this kind of conversation. In answer to my question, she nods again. Okay, so she's from Eisenfield, she doesn't know Morgan, and she's been a ghost for a long time. Do you know how long? A shrug. She holds up one finger and then two fists. 100 years? 100? Another shrug and a nod. 100 years. I murmur it to myself in slight disbelief. It could be more. I'm doubting she's been keeping track of every day. The world out there, the world I come from, it may as well be another planet for her. I'm sorry. It's incomprehensible to me. I can't fathom that much time passing unable to talk to anyone. How lonely that must be. She closed her eyes yet again. Though I've been interpreting her silence as serene, I wonder if that's how she feels. These yes or no questions are practically the intent of what I can ask her. There's still a gulf between who she is and what I know of her. Centuries worth of solitude. In all that time, have you ever spent time like this with someone else? Without opening her eyes or looking at me, she shakes her head again. I'm the only one? That's so sad. I fall silent too, my head still reeling. There's so many things I want to ask and want to know. How did she die? Why did her spirit stick around? Does she know about the thing we saw in the snow? Why am I the first person she's shown herself to? There's no way she could answer. And even if she could, I wonder if she wanted to. Is it impolite to remind a ghost that they're dead? It's morbidly funny to me that these are the questions I have to ask myself. Tara would love this. Tara would. I pushed that thought out of my head too. Tara's not right here now. It's just me and Abigail. Would you like me to read that other book? Her grin returned, the moment of melancholy dispelled. Seems I made the right call in changing the subject. I show her the cover of the book before I crack it open, enjoying the new book smell. This is a book I read a lot when I was younger. It's about a girl who wants to be a hero, so she goes on a quest with her best friend to prove herself. Sounds like you and Tara. It's a little childish, I guess, but maybe you'd like it? Abigail clasps her hands and nods. I have a feeling I could read the dictionary to her and she'd be satisfied, but I don't mention that. Okay. I smooth a crease and open to the first page. That's cute. Once upon a time. It's a story I could probably recite by heart. My mom used to read it to me when I was a little girl, and it was one of the few books I used to learn to read. I was both surprised and excited to see there was a copy in Eisenfield's bookstore. I settle into an easy cadence of reading. Though I'm not used to reading out loud, it starts to feel pretty natural only after a couple of pages. Like my mom used to do to me, I give all the characters to some different voices. I don't have quite the range my mom does, but Abigail seems to enjoy it all the same. She smiles and laughs in all the right places. It makes my heart warm to see that she's enjoying it. Her eyes are closed yet again, but she looks quite content. Aww, that's cute. As we finish chapter 2, Abigail scoots a little closer and rests her head near my shoulder. I pause mid-sentence surprised, but resume just a second later. Though I can't feel her, the sentiment is clear. I keep reading. Sometimes when I glance down, I can see that her eyes are open, reading along. Her lips mouth the same words as I am. One time, she catches me looking and blushes, but I just smile and continue going. After I finish chapter 4, I finally pause. My mouth is dry and my jaw is starting to hurt a little. I must have been reading aloud for close to an hour. Even though I stop, Abigail doesn't sit up or open her eyes. Her hands rest on my arm, and I set the book aside. Do ghosts need to sleep? It's another question I can ask, but maybe at a different time. Right now, I'm happy to let her pretend. Quietly, I hum a song. It's something from the radio, a title I can't remember, but that's always stuck in my head. I'm extremely off-key, I'm sure, but I don't care. It just feels right. That's cute. When I stop, she finally opens her eyes and sits back. As we gaze at each other, she mouths two words that I don't... No. As we gaze at each other, she mouths two words that I don't have to be good at reading lips to decipher. Thank you. No problem, I hope you like the story. First she claps, then she places one hand over her heart. I laugh, flattered, but also a little embarrassed. I think that's all I can do today, but we should read some more sometime. If you want to, I mean. I already knew the answer, but she gave me an empathetic nod all the same. Okay. It's a promise. She touches her heart again, and I smile. I should probably head back to the cabin soon. People will start to get suspicious if I'm gone for too long. Abigail cocks her head like an owl, curious. I haven't told my friends about you yet. Sort of like a secret, I guess. And I want to keep it that way for a little while longer. She smiles in agreement. Time skip time. You can't get rid of me that easy. Believe me, I've tried. Abigail and I have been spending a lot of time together since the last scene, and we've gotten to know each other a lot better. At this point in the story, she's also able to talk, which makes things a lot easier. For someone who hasn't spoken to another human in over 200 years, she's a surprisingly good conversationalist. And you two are on a date in this scene, right? No, we're just talking, that's all. Just going for a walk and talking, that's perfectly normal. Just a chance for the two of us to enjoy each other's company. Hang on a second, these next few scenes don't seem to have me in them. Shouldn't Abigail be introducing them instead? We actually never had a chibi sprite made for her, so we can't. Freaking Tara, look at this nonsense. Hey, it's me, it's Abigail. I'm really spooky and I just love Maddie so much. I'm so glad we're dating now. Just roll the damn scene. Alright, we're going to stop here, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel to know when videos come out, and I'll see you next time when we go on our date with Abigail. Until then, peace out, everybody.